What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on, people? What is going on? How we doing? How are we doing? I hope everybody has had one of those awesome, a serious, awesome weekend, man. Uh, it's been all good. It's been all good. I can't. Hold on one second. Okay. I can't complain about too much, to be totally honest with you. Where are we at? Right here. Trying to figure out what's going on with my with Twitter here, because it's not. Twitter is not, for some reason. And I tell you, this platform has been nothing but. Oh, there it goes. There he goes. There he goes. Let's try to figure out what was going on, man. What was going on here with this here Twitter thing? Okay, one other section here. Let's see. No, we don't want to do that, do we? No. Okay, let's just stick. We'll just stick with what we do normal. We'll just stick with what we do normal. But anyway, people, how we doing tonight? How is everybody doing? I hope we all has had, like I said again, had an awesome weekend. I hope everybody did and was up and bouncing around and having a good time that they want to have with everything. Let's try this here. All right. So, anyway, what's happening? I was trying to figure out this here with Twitter. Twitter, man, there's days that I sit here and go, do this man really want this platform to work? I mean, is it just, that's what I'm wondering. Because you would think if you're going to pay that much money for a platform that a lot of people use, you would do everything you possibly can do to make sure that that platform is it's working. You sit there and go, why isn't it working? Hey, what happened? What's going on there, Johnny? What's going on? He said, same John, switched it up a little. All right, bro. Hey, ain't nothing. There's nothing at all wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with that. But I hope you had a good weekend, my friend. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope everybody had a good weekend. But John hit me up earlier today with a video of 26th. What was going on 26th, and I was sitting there. I'm looking at the video, going, John, I'm actually down here. So you should have known, John. You should have known. More than likely, I was down there. I don't think this stuff is going to go away anytime soon. I don't think this is going to go away anytime soon. There's a lot of people down there today. Again, they have been, and the thing about today was, I told y'all, I said it. Yes, I did, Johnny. Thank you very much. I had a pretty good weekend. Did not have the grandkids, but enjoyed the wife, and we tried Valentine's Day. I've been asking. I haven't really been asking, but I've been saying that I wanted to get these. You guys ever see those hot plates? I was going to talk about what, John? hit me up and let me know. But they got these, they're cast iron hot plates to keep you put them in the oven, and then you put your food on there. Because I always complain about my steaks, right? Like when we go out, I pay all of this money for this steak, and then I go and I put it on a normal plate. And by the time, you really get into the meat, it's cold. And it just bugs the heck out of me. It bugs the heck out of me. So my wife, being the woman that she is, she listens to my cries. And she actually bought these cast iron hot plates for me for Valentine's Day. I've been whining about these things for I don't know how long. And every time I go somewhere, I always look to see if they are the ones that I want. But she got these for me, and we tried it out tonight. I went up to the Vaughn's and got this big porterhouse steak. Being nice outside, I went ahead and fired up the grill, flipped it over a couple of times, took it off the grill, and I'd already taken the 2 cast iron plates that she got me, and I put them in the oven. I just let them set. So they sat in the oven, pour these buppies out, cut my food up, put it on the plate. It was just sizzling. These things even kept the baked potato hot, man. The baked potato was just as hot. Love these things. Love them, love them. But anyway, so watch this here. Let's go this route tonight. Because what I try to do a lot of times is I try to get people to understand where I'm going, what I'm talking about. And I try to come up with different ways to get people to get the message. And I know a lot of people don't want the message. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth. They don't. So tonight we're going to try it this way, okay? And I don't know if any of you guys ever listened to. If you hadn't, please do it. Because Jane Elliott, I don't know if y'all know who she is. She's a white woman. And she's anti-racist. She speaks on white racism like no other. Right? Now, black people listen to Jane Elliott. White people listen to like Candace Owens or what's that knuckleheaded police officer, Brandon Tatum. Y'all listen to that type of stuff. Thomas Sowell. We listen to Robin DiAngelo, Tim Wise, and Jane Elliott. So Jane Elliott did a study type, something like a little test. She's in this room, loaded, white folks, all in this place, right? And she says to them, if you want to change places with a black person, if you're willing to change places with a black, she said, stand up. Nobody stood up. She said, maybe you did not hear me. If you are willing to change places right here, right now, today with a black person, stand up. Nobody stood up. She says, that proves my point. She says, you know the condition. You know how bad it is being a black person. She said, you wouldn't want it for yourself, would you? All the white people in the room was kind of just sitting there. It was stunned because she made a point, which is true. There's not one white person out there that would want to change places with me. None. 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 Even the poorest of white men would not want to change places with me. And I got it better than he do. But because of the stigma that comes with being black, you know what goes on when it comes to the police and everything else. Y'all don't want to change who you are. And I wouldn't want to change. Look. Somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, Rev, would you like to be white for a day?" I'll be like, no, I'm good. I keep telling y'all, I like me. I like what I look like. I like who I am now. I like me. So no, I wouldn't either. But the point that I'm making is this here. Like today when I was out today, and like I said, when I go out, I like to talk to people and I like to get to know why they are doing what they're doing. And the white woman said, "I don't believe in the way that things are being done anymore." And I was like, I thought about that for a second. And because she didn't just say, hold on, you got to watch what I just said. So a lot of times you got to listen to what people say and then the words that they use. This is what she said. She said, "I don't like what is being done anymore." Now, that tells me that it was okay what was being done 2, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5, 6, 7, 8, last year, when they was still knocking black folks upside the head. That was okay. I'm not coming out for that. But she said, for this, because ICE is taking people off the street and ICE is making people disappear, she said, I'm going to come out for this because I don't like the way things are being done anymore. And one thing that we always say as black people, it's going to take white people standing up, and then maybe something will get changed. Something will be different. Something will happen. Somebody will start listening. And that's one of the things that I always try to get Republicans here to understand, that when they come if they come, or when maybe, they probably won't. But if you're going to come into the black community, you have to listen. The problem with Republicans here, they don't listen. They don't want to listen. We will never, let me make sure certain Republicans understand what I'm saying. Because the whole thing about Republicans is they got this thing in their head that if people come in their party, that they have to assimilate to their party. It will never happen. That's why you ain't got that many, especially here. You got 4 black people. 5. I forgot Diane. So you got 5 black people here who are willing to assimilate, who are willing to take and throw who they are as black people away. You got 5 here in the state of Minnesota that I know of. Now, there could be some somewhere else. I don't know. I haven't met them yet. But the 5 that I know, whether it's Duluth, whether it's Rochester, whether it's St. Cloud, whether it's Bemidji, whether it's down in Mabel, Minnesota, whether it's down in Winona, Minnesota, whether I'm in Buffalo, whether I'm in Plymouth, whether I'm in Maple Grove, whether I'm in Hopkins, whether I'm in Llano Lakes or Woodbury, I have not met I've only met 5 black folks. No, well, it's according on what day it is that Mr. Man in Minneapolis, he could be an independent one week and the next week he'll be a Republican. I don't know what he is. So I can't count him. But I only know 5 black Republicans here in the state of Minnesota. That's it. And they are willing to just say, I don't care about my culture. I want to be like them. I want everything they got, and I want to be like them. And they're willing to do what the Republicans say and act the way the Republicans want them to act. That's why there's not many black folks in the Republican Party in the state of Minnesota. Because I'm not going to assimilate to nobody. Y'all, they tried that. Right? It's the reason I don't speak 2 languages, because, you know what? They beat the hell out of us. No, we're not going back to that anymore. But being down there, and I'm looking around, and black folks showed black folks down, and I told y'all that. I told you there's going to come a time when black folks are going to finally start coming out. Today was the day. There was a lot of black folks down there on West 26th with everything that was going on down there today. But what we see here is the same thing like Jane Elliott. Jane Elliott asked a question. These folks that are coming out and protesting almost every other day now, these white folks are saying we want to stand up now. Now, I know a lot of other white folks don't like it. They don't like them, and they don't like. Got to remember now. Hold on. Got to remember. We went through this before. History. This is what's going on right now will be talked about. I guarantee you this is going to be talked about 20 years from now. When they start talking about times when you had 2 different white folks. You had white folks who was willing to stand up, just like the lady who came from Boston, white lady went down to Mobile, Alabama, driving black folks around, and they actually shot and killed this white woman. Just like the 2 white boys that came out of Philadelphia, went down to Alabama, and they shot and killed them 2 white boys and the black boy, and then they buried the car. This is in Minnesota. True story. Watch. Say, I heard a reverend say this. They will be talking about this. They will be talking about this years from now. And they're going to use the same example. When you had white folks stepping up saying, I'm Alex Purdy. I'm willing to give my life up. The white woman that got shot, I'm willing to give my life up. Because I see an injustice that's going on. That's what happened down in the South. White people died. Abolitionists. Look up the abolitionists. They died because they wanted to be on the right side of history. They died because they saw something wrong. And what did they do? They stood up for it. Now, I know this pisses some people on the right off to see all of these white folks out there. I know it does. I can go on your page and I read some of the stuff that you say. Y'all, most of y'all follow this dude, John Justice. This hurts John Justice. It does. It hurts his heart to see white people standing up for people that don't look like him. This hurts him. That's why he talks about it all the time. Because this is therapy. He has to get it out. And some people don't want to go back to the beginning of this and realize where the mistake was made. And there was a mistake that was made. There's no ifs and buts about that. Because like I said, when they first came here, when ICE first got here, and they was going through the Somali community, when they was over at the Somali Mall, when they was over at Little Mogadishu, when they was over in West St. Paul, and they was ravishing those communities, nobody said a word. And they were able to do what they wanted to, how they wanted to, when they wanted to. Nobody said a word. It wasn't until they started literally kidnapping people. When people was walking down the street and ICE pulled up, grabbed them, put them in the car, and took off. That's when people started getting pissed. That's when there was cars left in the middle of the road running, and nobody was sitting there, and people was like, what the hell's going on? That's when people was getting upset. People were getting upset when they was chasing workers and at 10 below degrees weather all the way up in the rafters. And one of them got frostbite for being up because ICE wouldn't leave. That's when people really started getting upset because what they were doing. Now, if they would have just came here and like you said, sat outside the prisons or sat outside the jails, and then when they release these people, grab them. Nobody would have said anything. But when you sit at the bus stop for these kids, when you're at the bus stop and these kids are freaking out at the bus stop, y'all know that's not. I don't care. I don't care what you say. You eat the right winger. You know that's not right. You know it as well as I do. That is not right. That's not correct. That's not how this should be done. You can sit there and give me, oh, well, if they came over the border or this and if they came up. No, man, come on. You're better than that. You're better than that. I, too, sit and say, see, it pisses us off as black folks. It pisses us off as black folks. See, black folks was the one going, why are you putting all these people in our community? We sounded the alarm before anybody did. And nobody gave a damn about us. When they was sticking these people, when they was clearing out Cedar, which is now a little more, when they was clearing out Cedar, nobody cared. Matter of fact, the Republican governor, Arnie Carlson, closed the door and wouldn't even talk to black folks when we were sitting here going, somebody tell us what's going on. They're not renewing any of black people's leases or rent or nothing. That's why Fridley looks the way it does, because most of those people left and the only place they could go was Fridley. But Arnie Carlson didn't say nothing, a Republican governor. When black folks was talking about, why are you moving us out of here? We put up with it when you put the Hmongs in our community, right? When you dump the Asians in our community, now you're doing it again. Nobody said a word. Nobody cared. Now they eating your tax dollar up. Now they come into your school, and your school has completely changed everything for them. Now you give a damn. Now you're bitching about it because it's affecting you. But 10 years ago, when it was pulling the black community down, when it was pulling the black schools down, when the black jobs were being taken, completely gone and taken. Nobody said nothing then. So I went to a meeting on yesterday. Yeah, it was Sunday, 3:00 at this church called Shiloh. Shiloh is like the biggest black church in Minneapolis, right? And everything runs through Shiloh, right? Which I don't understand, but this has opened up a situation now where you're going to start seeing a lot of collaboration between the blacks, the Hmongs, the Asians, the West Africans, the Somalis, a lot of brown people. They had a big thing over there at the church the other night. And that's pretty much, Imams was there. Mexicans were there. Oh, forgot about the Mexicans. And the Mexicans. And we had some woke white folks who understands what is about to start happening here in Minnesota. There is going to be a group of people that's just going to be left out. When the North decide that, hey, we want some of that money that y'all got down there in the South because y'all getting a little too rich, but the only reason you getting rich off of it because those Negroes you got down there. If y'all didn't have them Negroes down there, you wouldn't be balling like you were. So the North was like, hey, we're going to put a monkey wrench in everything you're doing. And the South was like, no, you're not. We would rather die than give up our Negroes. We would rather die than change anything that we're doing. We would rather die. And what they do? They died. The world is changing, people. It's changing all around you. There was a time when you didn't see my kids. You didn't see these little brown kids running around here. There was a time you didn't see them. Right? There was a time them little southern, that especially in Memphis, Tennessee, that's where I'm from. Them little southern white girls, they ain't mess with none of them black boys. Things are changing. I go home now, I go to the mall or something, all over the mall. All over the mall. And y'all know that as well as I do. That was one of the things that back in the day scared the living daylights out of white men. The thought of them little white princesses messing around with me. And you did everything you possibly can do to keep them away. You even made a movie to scare these white women away from black. Yeah, you did. Birth of a Nation. Go look at it. Go look at Birth of a Nation. And if you don't understand, if you watch that, if you have never seen it, and you want me to explain Birth of a Nation to you, I will be more than happy to. Go watch this movie. Go watch exactly what the white men said. Hey, how do we stop? No, that's what it was. How do we stop these white women from going over here messing with these Negroes? Because Jack Johnson, got to remember, go look. You can look all of this up. They made a law for a black man, Jack Johnson. That they should have called it the Jack Johnson Law. But they made a law for the boxer Jack Johnson because Jack Johnson didn't care. Jack Johnson put it in their face, running around with these little white women. To the point where it was like, if Jack Johnson take one of these white women who were of age across state lines and have sexual relations with her, he's going to, right? Look it up, people. Look it up. And now, here we are, 2024. And we got these little brown kids running all over everywhere. They even made it, my mom and my dad, because my stepfather is as white as ghostly go. Oh, let me see if I pull up. I'm gonna show y'all my stepfather. I'm gonna show you my stepfather. My stepfather and my mother have been together. If I can find a picture of him really quick. They've been together for this year. It will be 50 years. 50 years. They met in Memphis, Tennessee. They met 9 years outside of Virginia versus Loving. You know who Virginia versus Loving is? Anybody? Virginia versus Loving was to tell a white man that he could not marry a black woman. That was a law. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There was a law. 9 years after they tore that law down, my dad and my mom met each other. And in Memphis, Tennessee, one of the most racist places you could be, them two met each other, fell in love, got married, and has been together now for 50 years. Things are changing, people. Things are changing whether you like it or not. A lot of us will not be here when a lot of things that we see today are going to fall. A lot of things we see today is going to drop. I'm one of those people that I see things in an old school way. I'm one of those people who believe that, that the Bible now is what it is. I don't bother nobody with it. I don't yell at nobody with it. But the only problem I have, that I know that somewhere down the line, that it's going to change to the point where everybody is going to have the mindset that a man is a man, it is officially married. I am the first person that will tell you point blank that is not true. There will never be a day, and that's not being racist or anything of that sort. I'm going what the Bible says. No, here's my dad right here. He's out, because one of the things my dad loves to do, let's see if I can get him in there. One of the things my dad loved to do is fish. That's my dad right there. He's been with us for 50. This man's been with me longer than my black biological father has ever been in my life. That man right there, that's who raised me. That's who raised me. That is Mr. J.D. Hodges out of Idaho, out of Boise, Idaho. And that's who taught me. Number one, be who I am, always. Number two, love everybody, no matter what. So, like he said, he always say that. Love the person, hate the sin, but understand that the sin is the worst thing about this person. But we're changing people. So people have a choice, right? People have this choice. They're either going to fly the Confederate flag or fly the Stars and Stripes. No, that's how I see it. Because there's more people who flies the Stars and Stripes than there are that flies the Confederate flag. And to me, being from down south, the Confederate flag, I know a lot of people sit there and they say that, oh, it's about history and it's about our culture. No, it's not. Okay, no, you know what? I'm wrong. I shouldn't have said that. Some people can believe that. But being from the South, and the reason they pulled it off, the last place was South Carolina's capital, is because it was a racist flag. Period, point blank. So, you got a choice. Now, let me say this here also. For those, you said that should have been the agenda from the jump. You don't kidnap kids and think it's okay to do that. Exactly, you don't. Because remember, Donald Trump made a promise. He did. Trump said that they were coming in here. They were coming in here to get what? Fraud. That's what he said. Have you heard anything about fraud? Have you heard? Since Nick. So not only that, but the Republicans paid this dude to come in here. They brought Nick in here, and it backfired. No, y'all don't understand. It backfired. And y'all about to see, y'all think I'm joking when I say this. When you piss off liberal, suburban, white women, that's who are out in these streets right now. Y'all don't understand that. When you piss them off, come on, y'all know better than this. Y'all should know that. That's the last group you want to piss off. You can piss black women off. You can piss black men off. You piss off white men, and you get January 6th, correct? Yeah, you do. That's what we got. A bunch of white men was upset, so what did they do? January 6th. You piss off these liberal white women, oh, they got money to pay for donuts and coffee and hand warmers and some of everything. They got friends who own businesses in North and South North Minneapolis and South Minneapolis, and those businesses can stay open and let people come in there and get warm and all this here type of stuff. These women are a lot more powerful than I thought. They can make the mayor and the governor sit down. When they want to. When these white liberal women, when they want, and they are going to be the one that's going to have the overriding vote here in the state of Minnesota. I believe this is going to be one of the times here in Minnesota that these liberal white women will not vote with their husband. Because they be sneaking. Some of these women, husband will vote Republican, and they'll vote Republican because it's their husband. I'm just going to put it out there now, and I'm going to say it. Because when the numbers come in, I'm going to be able to say, I told you so. These liberal white women will not vote with their husband this go around. I guarantee it. And y'all can find this stuff out yourself. Get from behind your computer. Like I said, I keep telling you, you don't have to go down there and protest. You don't have to go down there and march. Just go down there and talk to people. Get your information for yourself. Don't just sit here on the computer and have people tell you things. And most of the times, it's just not true. Most of the times, it's just not true. Here's the thing that scares me about what's going on today in this world. This scares me. It scares me what Donald Trump is doing right now. And the reason it scares me is because I know one day, and y'all know as well as I do, that the Democrats are going to be back in control. And when the Democrats get their hands on things, just like here in Minnesota, they look at what the Republicans did and go, we got to match that. If y'all don't think that the next Democrat that gets, especially if Galvin Newsom, is that his name? Galvin or Gavin? If he becomes president, we all are going to be going underground. That's what scares me about. This is the reason why I sit here and say, for all of y'all running around here, throwing your hands up, act like this is a party with what's going on with Donald Trump. This isn't good, people. This isn't good. Because it's going to get worse. It will get worse. If the Democrats get their hands on that seat, may God help us all. Because you already know what they do now. But you give them the power. For those who are not here in Minnesota, so the Democrats, watch this, true story, got all of these black babies getting shot in the damn street of Minneapolis. No jobs, no nothing for any of these kids. These kids are literally selling drugs, and not only selling drugs, but it's an open air drugs. I mean, literally open air. You can sell whatever you want. It's lucky they don't have tigers down there they're selling. I'm going to get to you in a second, John. Let me do this here. But what I'm saying is this here. Here in Minnesota, they got the trifecta. All of a sudden, now we got dudes who put on wigs, put on lipstick, put on a dress, and this dude is allowed in the women's prison. You got this dude who walks around and calls himself a name that his mom and dad didn't give him. And he's striking out girls in softball tournaments. You got them trying to make laws that if I don't say somebody's pronouns or whatever you call them damn things, then I'm in trouble. That's what we get when the Democrats are in control. They're trying to tell me that the firearm that I have, my AR-15, one of them, that gun is the worst thing that could ever happen. And my AR has never done nothing to anybody. Ain't never been. Now, about 320 yards, a piece of metal, and a balloon. I've been violent. I've been very, very violent to balloons with my AR-15. Very violent. But I ain't never been violent to nobody. But yet, I've got to fight for my right to shoot a balloon at 320 to 50 yards. I got to fight for my right to do what I enjoy doing. On a Sunday afternoon when it's nice out and I'm out shooting metal. Well, the Democrats say that I don't have a right. They should ban that firearm. I don't have that right. we have set ourselves up. No, y'all, I didn't. Y'all have set us up to when the Democrats get back into office. We're in trouble, people. Y'all can sit there, because watch, I'm gonna archive this. I'm gonna archive this. Because when I hear them right wingers whining and crying and, oh my God, I can't believe this is, yeah, you believe it because you set it up. You did it. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. All y'all have to do is call Trump on some of the bull crap that he does. That's all you have to do. At least let the Democrats know that you care. But that's not what you do. That's not what you do. This man took a snippet and decided that history was not important, that history wasn't even going to stop him. The history of white folks using black people as apes. That's history. That's flat out, no ifs, ands, or buts. We can find that all through history. And he did that, and y'all still, Lisa DeMoss hadn't said a word. And she called herself a black woman running for the governor of the state of Minnesota. Lisa don't know what the hell she's supposed to be doing. The Republican Party here in Minnesota did not say a word about what this man did. A lot of you Republicans here in Minnesota. So when the Democrats get themselves back into office, don't blame me. I said y'all got to start saying something. You don't have to say you don't like the man. Love him all you want. But when he does things like that, somebody has to step up. Somebody has to say something. John said he cannot be next. There goes the world. So no party voting, and he. If Trump stays underwater, Trump is 22 points underwater. The worst a president ever been right now. And you even got MAGAs that's pissed at him. Them Epstein files. The only thing Trump can do that's going to make people happy right now is dude need to redact and drop them Epstein files. He said it. Hold on now. Hold on. Let's make sure we all on the same page here. Trump said it, that he was going to open those files up. He said it. He said it. And he ain't done it. And everybody's running around saying that Trump can't keep his word, which he can. Because when he got here, when he got here to Minnesota, the deal was he said he was coming here and he was cleaning up this fraud. That's what he said. And he came here and when is the last time you heard anybody talk about the fraud? You haven't heard it. Nobody here in Minnesota. Nobody other than, a couple of Republicans. A couple of Republicans are trying to keep it alive. A couple of Republican lawmakers. But other than that, nobody's talking about fraud. We just sent five or six Republican lawmakers to the White House to testify on Capitol Hill. You ain't heard nothing about that. It's as if they just went up there for a free trip to say they went. It ain't nowhere important. They yelled at Keith Ellison a couple days ago. Talk about, look, we got you on tape. You said this and you said that, right? Well, what has come of that? Right? Thanks, John. Did I not say that? When the Republican Party paid for that Nick kid to come here to Minnesota, when I said point blank, I said the Republicans have screwed up in the way that they did this, because everybody looked at that Nick as harassing those people. And then you had the followers who came to town, correct? People, some little girl, I don't know who she was, she took her ass down there. And then that other dude that got his butt kicked there downtown when he was supposed to be, protesting, then he shows up with a big cross in a U-Haul truck. Y'all don't understand how bad that hurt the Republican Party here. It did. And I told you point blank, if the Republicans can't give us, and they gave you one business, all this fraud they've been talking about, one business, and guess what? Even that business, nothing came out of it. Ain't nobody got arrested. You ain't hear no files or anything, computers or nothing being taken from that business, did you? No, you did not. Nick went there one day. The place was closed. He goes back. Kids are being taken into the place. They go, ha-ha. They laugh at the sign. Nick makes a bunch of T-shirts. Y'all buy the T-shirts, make him rich. But what happened to the daycare? What happened to the people who run the daycare? They shut that one down and then went down the street and started another one. Ain't nothing happened to them. And ain't nothing gonna happen to them. They fed Nick, the Republican Party, Lisa Demuth, Kristen Robertson, Walter Hudson, all of them that was on that Judas, they fed Nick a bunch of crap. Half of the stuff that Nick got, think about it for a second. Half of the fraud that Nick got, they had already been doing investigations on him. People was already going to jail for that. People were already in trouble for that. People are waiting on trials for the stuff that Nick got. The only thing that y'all got from Nick was that one daycare and the misspelled words. That's it. Think about it for a second. What else did you get? What? Nothing. You got nothing from him. Nothing. So what the Republicans tried to do totally backfired on them. And they know it. That's why they had to jump. Look, watch this. No. Watch this. So now they go from Somali fraud, and ain't nobody talking about that no more, to what? Oh, squirrel, to voter fraud. We done been down this. We done been down this road. This voter fraud crap. We've been down this road. Remember when they brought that dude in here again? Republicans brought that dude in here. What's his Vargas, or whatever his name is. And he's called himself, oh, look, ballot harvesting. And I've got whistleblowers. I've got people talking to me off the table, and I'm recording people on. Remember when he came here? Remember that? The last cycle? What happened? Nothing. Nothing, people. And if you're not from here, you don't understand. Sonny Johnson on Series SM. I thought I was going to be on her show a couple of days ago because she wanted to talk about something. I keep trying to make people understand. If you're not from here, you have no clue how weak the Republican Party here is. I'm talking weak. They get lucky enough, like they did this time, that they removed the trifecta. But other than that, they still get played. They still get played. The Republican rabbit holes are being buried, and they try to dig a fraud. I know it. That's what I'm saying. Where is the fraud? No, seriously. Think about it for a second. A couple of weeks ago, that's all you heard about. Fraud, 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 fraud. Fraud, fraud, fraud this, fraud that. Oh, my God, all of this fraud. I can't believe I cannot move in Minnesota without the fraud. Where is it now? Why aren't we talking about it? Why aren't we still talking about it? Why is nobody being arrested? Where is the investigation? Where is Trump? Where is Pam Bundy? Where is Gnomes? Where, people? Y'all let these people play you. Yeah, you do. Watch this. Really? You want to test it? Okay. Here we go. Follow me. If you found 40 kids that has been missing, 40 kids. You found 40 kids that has been missing. That's national news. That's important. You put that out there. You have a press conference at the White House, and everybody's talking about this. Everybody, you telling us about the kids. You telling us about the family. You telling us if they've been harmed. You telling us everything about these kids. 40 kids. Now, I didn't say anything about 3,000, but just 40 kids, right? That's boom, blowing up, man. This is crazy. We found 40 kids. Y'all believe that? Y'all believe what they told you, that the data and the paperwork was not checked correctly on this here stuff. So they basically went and got the paperwork, looked at the paper going, oh, this kid is at 8172 Olive Grove in Maple Grove. And they went over to the house and checked it. But here is the thing that also gets me about y'all mindset. You telling me, hold on, think about this for a second. All of these kids, 4,000 kids that has been lost, has always just been right here in the state of Minnesota? These kids that come from Texas, across the border, through Louisiana, through Arizona, through California, all of these kids that some from Hungary, Nicaragua, that came in through Florida, you're telling me every one of these kids that they found that started out at the border, you're telling me all of those kids ended up right here in Minnesota? Get out of here. Y'all are some stupid son of a No, you are. Get out of here. There's no way you gonna make me jump into this cult and believe that. There was no other place they wasn't in Wisconsin. They wasn't in Iowa. They wasn't in North Dakota, in South Dakota. They wasn't in Illinois. All those kids was right here in Minnesota. Y'all, see, this is why when the Democrats get back in the office, y'all are gonna be, I can't. Father God, if you can make me hang on for 5 years, I'm begging you, 5 years, because I've got to see the reaction of all these people who will buy a lie and who have put us in danger for when the Democrats get back in the office. I just want to be able, God, to sit on here and say, I told you so. God, if you can, I'm not trying to be facetious. I ain't trying to hate on nobody. I ain't trying to be mean or being ugly. I'm not trying to be black-hearted right here, Father. Only thing I'm asking you for, if you can just give me time. Because I want to see the faces of everybody. Who that when that lady with the cross stands at that podium and lies for Donald Trump. I want to see everybody that believes her when she does that. I want to see their face, Father. I want to hear them come up with an excuse. That's what I need. Because if you don't think that when the Democrats get back into office, that they're not going to run roughshod over these United States, you're out your mind. They're not even in power right now. And the things that they say, I don't know if y'all listen to them. I do. I listen to both sides. I listen to what the Democrats say. And I listen to what Republicans say. And I throw a little bit of independent in there just to shake it up a little bit. And one of the biggest things that is about to happen, that's about to go on here in Minnesota, is the fight between the liberals and the Democratic Socialists. There's, watch, y'all think I'm joking. I'm not. There's about to be a big brouhaha that's about to happen with them two parties. So it's not the Democrats. They don't have to worry about the Republicans. They're not worried about the Republicans. They're not. They're worried about the Democratic Socialists is who they're worried about. Duluth has turned Democratic Socialist. Rochester is about to go that way. And the only reason Minneapolis did not go that way is because our push, black folks got together. I put together a round table of 9 black pastors to push for Mayor Fry. I went to barber shops. I went to every place it was supposed to go because we had a Democratic Socialist who wanted to take over Minneapolis. That's why Fry, it's not that Fry was the best thing that we could, well, at the time. But we realized where this Democratic Socialist Party is trying to, what they're trying to do. They're on the Minneapolis City Council. There's a few of them on there. And they're doing everything they possibly can to move their agenda. I'm more worried about them than I am a Republican in the state of Minnesota. They scare me more than a Republican in the state of Minnesota. And this is the reason why I sit back and I say that the Republicans here in Minnesota and the Democrats here in Minnesota, they better get their act together. Because if they don't, the socialists in this here state, and they're young. That's the thing about these socialists. They're young college kids. They're literally about to take over. They're literally about to take over. If we did not make that push, for Mayor Fry, Minneapolis would have had a socialist and a Somali for our mayor. That's a fact. Democratic socialists are taking over City Council of Minneapolis. They took over. Look up Duluth. They got Duluth. They're about to get Rochester. And Democrats know that. And that's their fight. And if Republicans don't stop acting a fool here in Minnesota, stop being knuckleheaded, they're going to be poofed. But you can't tell them anything. You can't tell these Republicans here in Minnesota when they're doing wrong, because they got to listen to their base. I spent last year, and Brad came down to Mabel, Minnesota, all the way down. I don't know if you guys ever been to Mabel, Minnesota, but it's way down there. I had an opportunity to just go around Minnesota and go to some of these precincts, go to some of these town halls that they were having in their town halls, and actually speak to some of the people who don't go to Minneapolis. And most of the towns that I was in, most of the city halls that I was in, all white. And we actually had good conversation. Something that I've been asking to do with everybody, try to get this thing figured out. But because here we are fighting each other, and you got another group stealing from the state of Minnesota. You got another group that's literally think that they got every right to literally take over. Their mentality. Listen to me. Here's the problem with these liberal Democrats. They think they can run everything. What they don't understand is when you dealing with a group of people whose mindset is to take over and dominate by any means necessary. They'll cut your damn throat. That's what we're dealing with here in the state of Minnesota. That's exactly what we're dealing with. And the only reason these people are talking about working with anybody right now is because Donald Trump at one point in time said he was coming in here to clean it up. And now they're running to the black community talking about help. When before they was kicking the black community way away from, they didn't give a damn. Our black kids and their Somali kids fought all the time in school. Look it up. They hate each other. Because the Somalis come here and try to act like they're better than everybody else. Those are facts. And if these Republicans don't get off their ass and stop acting stupid and start listening to people, because these dumbass Democratic liberals and ain't got no sense. No, they don't, people. And this is why I'm telling you right now. If Gavin Newsom becomes president of these United States, we are in trouble. Y'all think I'm kidding. I'm not. Everything that I ever tell you guys, a lot of the times, if you look back on it, you'll sit there and go, oh, damn. He's right. A lot of y'all don't go into Democratic spaces. Y'all don't sit down and listen to the things that they say. You're not getting invited here, getting invited there. Some of you wouldn't even go into a Democratic space. That's why I go in Democratic spaces. That's why I go in the Republican space. Because I want to hear what they're saying. I want to know, what is your next move? And is that next move going to hurt me or harm me? That's the reason I go in there. It ain't because I give a damn about their party. I just went to the Republicans' governors debate. I didn't go there because I cared about somebody that was up on that damn stage. That's not why I was there. I wanted to hear what they were talking about. I wanted to hear what their goal was. Same thing. Soon as they have one with the Democrat, I'm going to be right there. That's the problem that we have in this here country. Everybody gets in their little bubble, and that's where they stay. And then they swear up and down their little bubble is the shit. And their little bubble is not even worth shit. Because you listen and you hear the same damn thing. And you go with the same damn thing. And you believe the same damn thing. Donald Trump promised us that he was coming in the state of Minnesota to take care of all this fraud and all that money that was, and he failed in what he said he was going to do. Yes, he did. And y'all will not hold him accountable for what he told us he was going to do. You won't do it. And because he couldn't find a way to get these Somalis, you know what he did? He started messing with these Latinos and these Mexican people who only thing they're doing is going to work and making sure Rev has a burrito. That's who he's messing with. I can't get a burrito. Something's wrong, man. That Mexican place that's right over there off of 252 in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center. Right there by the McDonald's, there's a Mexican joint right over there. Makes the best burritos I have ever had in the state of Minnesota. Can't go there because ain't nobody there. Taco truck? I ain't seen him over there on Lake Street. Now, them people ain't messing with nobody. And they in a restaurant, leave them alone. They got the taco truck going, leave them alone. They ain't the worst of the worst. What they done? Nothing. Okay, sure. I get it. Well, Rev, what about the law? And they jumped over the border and all this here type of stuff. Are they paying taxes? Are they filling out their W-2s? They ain't selling drugs. Well, no, I was about to say they ain't selling drugs, but that damn burrito that I got from the taco truck, that should have been a drug. Because as soon as I was done with it, I was sitting there going, I should turn around. I should turn around and just go get me another one. But we got to leave them alone, man. They ain't done. The dude that's working out in Chanhassen and he's putting up plywood and he's building homes and things. What have he done? Because I can tell you what I'm not going to do. I can tell you what I'm not going to do. Right outside of Elk River there's a potato farm. You go by there during the summertime, you see Mexicans all through that field. That potato field right there. I ain't going. And I just had a baked potato tonight with my steak. Just had a baked potato tonight with my steak. I expect for me to walk in the store and I have no problem getting a baked potato or onion so I can saute my onion on my steak. I should not have any problem with that. But you know when I'm going to have that problem? As long as Trump is here messing with them people who are out in them fields, making sure that my baked potato is there and I got my onion for saute. Y'all, leave these people alone. No, it's about me right now. I know, Rev, you just want them to break the law so you can make sure you got a potato and you got an onion for your steak and all it. Okay. But if the only law they broke was jumping the fence, if that's what you're saying, the only law they broke, find out a way. If they're going to be working in the field and give me my potato and give me my onion, then your ass need to find a way to make sure that they get their papers straight. Because you ain't going out there, and you know that as well as I do. You know that as well as I do. You ain't going out there. You ain't going to Elk River. You ain't gonna ask for a job. You're not gonna be down there making sure that these people. You ain't going down there. You ain't picking no potato, and you ain't picking no onion. So let's not act like. So them people, we need to leave alone, because they wasn't bothering nobody. Fine. They went to jail. They went to the jail, and they got a few people out of the jail. I'm cool with that. That's fine. But that little Jose, who's going to school to learn to be somebody or to trying to do something, and he's getting good grades, leave that little boy alone. Don't be at the bus stops. Don't be showing up at these people's houses with a decoy, a little white woman in her jogger suit, talking about she lost her dog, can you come help me? And then as soon as the man, the Latino guy comes out the house, y'all jump and take him. Stop stopping people in their cars and then take them and you leave their cars running. Stop jerking people off the street like that. What I need you to do, Donald Trump, is what you told us you was going to do. These Somalians stole money left and right. They got money like you wouldn't believe. They fraud up the yin-yang. I don't need ICE messing with my people to make sure that I got a burrito, with my people to make sure I got a potato, with my people to make sure I got an onion. I don't need ICE messing with them. But the people who are taking my tax money, Trump, who have stole from the Minnesota taxpayer, Trump, that's who I need you to get. For every dime that went overseas that paid for whatever, I don't know what, that's who I need for you to get. For every house that they bought in Woodbury and every place else, that's who I need you to get. For every time they went to the BMW store and they bought all of them luxury cars, Trump, that's who I need you to get. For every single time they lied and walked into a store and wrote a check for I don't know how much, that's who I need you to get. For the ones who walked around in luxury, stayed at 5-star hotels, had nice shoes, nice clothes, ate steak, a high-end steak, not the porterhouse that I have to buy because that's all I can afford, but that high-end steak, Trump, that's who I need you to get. Trump, I need you to come in here and do your job. Come in here and do your job. That's who I need you to get. But Raul and everybody else, the ones who actually busting their butt, ones who are actually out here working, out here doing what they're... No, bro. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Stop it, man. So Tom Holdman, if you ain't, hold on, man. If y'all ain't got somebody lined up that stole this money, then get the hell on out of here. Pack your bags, Tom, and get out of the state of Minnesota. We don't need you no more. We don't need you no more. I'm even, watch this here. I'm even willing to not even complain about the people who sell fruit on the side of the road who don't have a permit to do it. I won't even complain about them. I won't. I won't complain about going down there on Lake Street or going to any Home Depot or Lowe's and guys are jumping in the back of a truck because I know they're going to put in a good day's work. I don't have to worry about them. I know the people who's selling fruit on the side of the road is doing it so they can feed their family and keep a roof over their head. I know that. So I'm going to overlook that. I'm not, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about that no more. You will never hear that come out of my mouth. I'm good with people who want to bust their butt, people who want to be here in Minnesota and feeding people in Minnesota, doing what they do, bringing their culture. I'm not even going to say anything about that anymore. But you know what I'm going to say? The low-down dirty ones, the welfare ones, the ones that's taking the dollars out of my pocket, I need them gone, Donald Trump. Today. Gone. Bye-bye. See ya. I need them gone. So, if you're not here to get them, and you've been here for 20, 25 years and you still on welfare, no, sorry. Peace. Go do better in your own damn country. Done. But anyway, like I said before, did we tackle everything? We started off with Jane Elliott tonight. Jane telling white folks, you want to take black folks' place, stand up. Nobody stood up. Because y'all know how bad we got it. That's the thing. You know how bad we got it. Y'all know how bad we got it. You seen it. And that's one of the reasons why black folks stayed in the house. Because we realized if we would have came out and marched with these people, we realized if we would have led this thing, we realized there would have been more deaths than what we saw. If they can shoot white people like that, you know they shoot us. No problem. Not even a blink of an eye. That wouldn't even have been a second thought. Just knock that nigga off right there. Just shoot him. Y'all know that as well as I do. Come on, man. Let's not act like. Y'all don't come over here and try to act like. You know that as well as I do. But like I said, all of these white folks out there now, all of these white folks that is woke, the one thing Donald Trump did not want his white people to be. The one thing, because y'all ate that up. Some of you even got it in your little bio that you anti-woke, that you're not woke. Ron DeSantis says it's Florida is where woke goes to die. And the one thing you did not want to happen, and y'all fought it, and you made it bad. You took a word that black folks have been using for years to tell each other, stay woke, keep your eyes open. Make sure you know what situations you're in. Read the room right. That's what woke mean. Don't get in trouble. That's what it means to black folks. But white folks took that one word and you made it bad. You turned it into a slur. You turned it into everything that somebody should hate if they heard that word. And y'all just woke up a group of white folks in the state of Minnesota. I'm going to say it again. If you don't understand how bad how bad the Republican Party, they're going to talk big. They're going to talk big. They're going to talk like they got it going on. November. It's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. Because y'all done woke up a group of white folks who said, what I see, it's like that white woman said, what I see now shouldn't be happening. what I see now shouldn't be happening. And all of them. Oh, there he is, James. What's happening? James, you sent me that. It's funny because you sent me that, and I was like right there on on 26 when you sent it. I was like, James should know better than that. James should know better than that. He should have known I was somewhere near this today. But yeah, man, that's my spiel for tonight. That's all I got. Is like I said before, y'all got a choice here. We've got a choice. I'm more afraid because I've been in a room with these socialists who want to do something different with Minnesota. They scare me. Listen to me. They scare me. Republicans don't scare me because they're weak. Even if they had power, the Democrats will still find a way to outmaneuver them. The Republicans show up with rocks to a chess game with the Democrats. Facts. I'm going to show you something. So, the Capitol, Republicans were like, oh, no, we're going to fight. We're going to fight to make sure you can still carry your gun. Don't get me wrong. You can still carry, like if I go to the Capitol, I can still carry my gun into the Capitol. But they decided, let's add something on to that. So I've got to go report my firearm. They're gonna take a picture of it, and all of that's impeding on me, man. That I was like, really? You mean the Republicans couldn't fight to make that not happen? I don't want nobody. It's called concealed carry for a reason. That's what it's called. I mean, if I wanted people to know I'm carrying, I'll be walking around. I'll go find me a 6-shooter, put on one of them old cowboy belts, carry like that. I carry for a reason because I don't want you to know. If you're going to be stupid enough to mess with me, I'm just saying. But that's what we got to do now at the Capitol. It's absolutely impeding on our... Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how the Republicans, the Democrats, because I know they was fighting for that. I know they was fighting to say we shouldn't be carrying there at all. Now they got it to the point where you got to tell them that, yeah, my gun is here. My gun is here. I got this gun. Next thing I'm going to be taking serial numbers. Hey, next thing I'm going to take your serial number and some of everything else. Put it in a database. No. That's what's going to happen. Watch. But again, like I said before, the Democrats who are fighting the socialists and the Republicans who fight themselves all the time need to get together and come up with a way to shut down these socialists here in Minnesota. They need to get together, let me say it again, and shut down these socialists in Minnesota. We're going to see, because I know on the ballot coming up, all through Minneapolis, there are socialists that's going to be running for seats. He said, we are allowed to carry there, and don't forget, maybe fingerprint. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. We are allowed to carry there, but you cannot carry unless you report that you are carrying and that you have a gun. And then they have to take a picture. I don't know about the fingerprint. So you saying they are fingerprinting people with firearms? But I know they take a picture of your firearm. On what side did you got your firearm on? I know that much. But I didn't know about the fingerprint. But anyway. I think we're good. I think we're good, ready to rock and roll, man. Again, like I said before, if Trump's not doing what he said, he was going to do, please, Trump, we're asking you to just go ahead and just fold it up, man. Fold it up and go on about your business. Because right now, like I said, you're messing with things that shouldn't be messed with. That shouldn't be messed with. If anything, what you can do, my mindset is just come in and deal with no one. My wife's somebody that works at my wife's work has been waiting 4 years for the government to do their job so they can get their either citizenship or something. Why are these people waiting that long? That's another thing. Why are they waiting that long? That's stupid. Like I said, if they working in the potato field, if they working in the onion field, I'm gonna need you to leave them alone. No, listen, Trump. I need you to leave them alone because they ain't doing nothing but going to work and making sure that we got potatoes and onions. I'm just saying, man. Anyway, hey, I'm going to get off of this thing. Y'all have a good night. It is a Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm in my chair on tomorrow, so I'll be bugging some people. And if a troll wants to show up tomorrow, I got time tomorrow. If a troll wants to show up tomorrow, I got time. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Like always, we always have to remember and understand and realize that the God that we serve is an almighty great God. The only thing he's ever asked each and every one of us to do is to please, ma'am and sir, serve him in a mighty way. And then he's going to make everything awesome for you and I. He said, if they did it correctly, they should have the right away, no reason to wait. No, they came over on their passport or whatever that is. They get to come over here to actually work. When she put in to be a citizen, she's still waiting 4 years for that to happen. Y'all have a good night. And always remember, put a smile on your face, right? And then we're going to take that outside and we're going to smile at somebody. So somebody smile back at you. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. Peace, and I'm out.